Okay, we're gonna graph cosine on a graph where y is equal to what cosine is and x is theta. Okay, so I've already written down the points, and I'll go through them right now. I'll just go through where their values are, what they are. So if we have a unit circle, pretend this is a perfect circle, where the radius is 1, because that's what a unit circle is. Goodness gracious. The radius is 1. Circle with a radius of 1. And cosine, we know that cosine is equal to the x point where the angle intersects with the circle. So if we have an angle of 0, the angle just goes out and it intersects with this point right here, which since at that point, since the farthest it can be is 1, because the unit circle radius is 1, cosine is equal to 1 at 0. And then at pi over 2, and pi over 2, which is about right here, cosine is, since it's the x-axis, cosine will be equal to 0 because it's got no value. And then a pi at 3 pi over 2, which would be right here, 180, it would be negative 1 because this is in the negative direction. And then down right here, it would be 0 again. No, sorry. 0, this is 0. Pi over 2 is this one. Pi is this one, and 3 pi over 2 is this one, is this angle, is 0 right here. And then at 2 pi, we'd go, that's what 360 degrees, so we'd be right back where we were at 1. So if we were to plot this 1, we were to plot this 1, and then at 0, at pi is 2, we get 0, pi over 2. And if at pi, we have negative 1, at pi we have negative 1, so we go down and we drop right here, negative 1. And then at 3 pi over 2, we go right here, we're at 0 again, and then 2 pi, we get 1. At 2 pi, we get 1. And if we were to connect the dots, we get another wavy looking thing like we got with sine. And if we were to keep going, it would come back down and go, keep doing this wavy looking thing. We could come back down and it would go like that again. It would keep doing that and do the same thing backwards. It wouldn't be, the peaks wouldn't be as sharp like I'm drawing them right now. They'd be more smooth and more curvy. That's what we'd get. And if you were to remember the sine, if you remember sine would be the opposite. If we were to plot sine would be 0, 1, 0, negative 1, and 0. So it would be 0 at 0 angles, and then it would be 1 at pi over 2, 1 at right over here, and then it would be 0 at pi, 0, and I believe negative at 3 pi, and 0 at 2 pi. So sine would go like this. It would, on the, and they would intersect, you keep going. And they would intersect this point, and at that point, and it would keep going. But yeah, sine and pi are like switching values, going opposite to each other. Anyways, but that's cosine graph. Seems cool.